After a few months of renting a house, I found myself facing numerous problems, both financially and professionally. Little did I know that these challenges would become the norm. During this time, my wife's brother was also living with us in the same house. My wife's brother, who works the evening shift and often does overtime, commutes to work on his motorbike every day. Usually, we would wait for him to return home around 11 p.m., since we only had one key. However, when I tried calling him, he didn't answer. We decided to go upstairs and sleep, assuming that he would honk when he arrived, allowing us to come down and open the door. As I dozed off, he unexpectedly came upstairs and questioned why we hadn't opened the door, mentioning that he had been waiting for a long time. My wife and I exchanged bewildered glances, wondering how he managed to come upstairs without the main door key. Our children were all sleeping downstairs and I was too dazed to get out of bed. I continued calling his name, and he came up again, repeating the same question. My wife tried to calm him down and asked how he had opened the door. He simply gestured with his hands, saying, "Why never open the door?" with angry tone. I checked the time. It was around 1:30 a.m. As my wife and I approached the front door, we were shocked to find it locked, despite the fact that we had locked it ourselves. We were perplexed and decided to go back upstairs to ask my wife's brother about it. He informed us that he had just unlocked the door and it was ready to be opened. My wife, being the calm and collected one, spoke to him before bringing him inside the room and making sure he fell asleep. Throughout the entire night, neither my wife nor I slept as we kept a close eye on her brother and children until morning. It was a stressful and confusing situation, but my wife's level-headedness and care for her family helped us get through it. My wife's brother had a peculiar experience one night. After finishing work at his usual time of 2:30 a.m., he hopped on his motorbike and began his journey home. As he rode, he couldn't shake off the feeling that someone was sitting behind him. Initially dismissing it as fatigue, he continued on his way. However, when he stopped at a red light, he stole a quick glance at the side mirror and was startled to see a dark figure with long hair seated behind him. Realizing that something was amiss, he swiftly adjusted the mirror to avoid catching a glimpse of the face and accelerated as fast as he could to reach the safety of his home. Once he arrived, he parked his motorbike, hurried inside, and locked the door behind him. He shared the unsettling story with us, and both my wife and I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off in our house. The following morning, as I woke up and decided to go for a walk, a neighbor approached me and revealed that he had noticed a lady with long hair lingering outside our house for an extended period of time the previous day, mistaking her for a friend. I immediately relayed this information to my wife and her brother, and we couldn't help but suspect that my wife's brother's late arrivals were somehow connected to the presence of a spirit in our home. It suddenly dawned on us that the main door possessed a spiritual presence, but there seemed to be some sort of barrier preventing the figure from entering the house. Determined to avoid any further encounters, my wife's brother wasted no time in taking his motorbike to a repair shop to have it modified to accommodate only one person. After the necessary modifications were made, he resumed his normal routine, but opted for alternative routes to ensure he wouldn't cross paths with the dark entity again. In an effort to find a solution, we sought the assistance of a spiritual healer who performed a ritual, and gradually things began to improve in our lives. Eventually, we made the decision to move closer to our workplace, hoping to leave behind the unsettling experiences and start anew. Working as a tow truck operator on the highways, Rax plays a crucial role in the automotive industry by providing essential services to drivers in need. Apart from towing vehicles, Rax goes the extra mile by collecting accident evidence, such as photographs and valuable items, and even making police reports. This additional effort not only ensures his clients receive the necessary support, but also allows him to earn extra income. However, one fateful night, Rax receives a phone call about an accident that will forever change his life. Rushing to the scene, little does he know that this will be his final case. Upon arrival, Rax witnesses the aftermath of a devastating collision, where a truck has rear-ended two cars. While the front car sustains minor damage and its passengers remain unharmed, the middle car bears the brunt of the impact. Inside, Rax sees a family of 3, a wife driving, her husband beside her, and their son in the back seat. Although the husband and son are silent and motionless, the wife pleads for help. Determined, Rax attempts to open the jammed car door, eventually succeeding in freeing her. Tragically, she takes her last breath in his arms, leaving behind tears in her eyes. Rax can still feel the warmth of her final breath on his face. Once the ambulance arrives, it confirms the devastating news. All 3 family members have succumbed to their injuries, while the passengers in the truck and the other car suffer only minor harm. Despite the emotional toll, Rax remains committed to his duty, diligently completing the necessary police report. Afterward, he retreats to his home, carrying the weight of this heartbreaking incident with him. After settling these types of accident cases, he always uses the back door of his home to go inside faster and take a bath before going to the living room to talk to his kids. However, on that particular night, he didn't talk to anyone and went straight to his room, covering his face with a blanket and falling asleep. The next day, Rax developed a fever and took medicine, but he called his wife in a panic, claiming that he could hear his daughter crying and couldn't sleep well. His wife reassured him that his daughter was fine and sleeping peacefully. The following day, Rax refused to eat and started speaking in a different language when he called his wife. This behavior worried his wife, who realized that something was wrong with Rax and urged him to take a bath immediately. She also asked him to pray, but he refused and continued to refuse food. This went on for about a week until he was admitted to the hospital for rehydration through glucose. After 3 days, he was discharged and returned home. However, a week later, he still occasionally spoke in another language, causing concern for his family. His daughter, who he showed a lot of love to, approached him and told him that he needed to regain control of his own soul and not let another soul take over. She prayed with him every day, and gradually, he started to come back to his senses. Since that incident, he has never gone for towing again, and it has been over 15 years, but he still remembers the impact it had on him. Tattoos have become an incredibly popular cultural phenomenon in today's society. This timeless art form has captivated people for countless years, with individuals seeking tattoos for various reasons. Some are drawn to the exquisite beauty of tattoo designs, while others find solace and meaning in spiritual tattoos. Spiritual tattoos are a way to express one's spiritual beliefs and journey. They can be a reminder of divine presence, a symbol of faith, or a way to connect with the world and one's identity. Tattoos have been used for spiritual purposes for thousands of years, and they continue to be a popular form of self-expression today. There are many different types of spiritual tattoos, each with its own meaning and significance. For example, chakra tattoos are a popular choice for those who want to promote balance and harmony in their lives. Lotus flowers are another common spiritual symbol, representing purity, rebirth, and strength. Some people choose to get tattoos of religious figures or symbols, such as crosses, angels, or the Om symbol. Others option for tattoos that represent their personal spiritual journey, such as a quote or a meaningful image. Ultimately, the meaning of a spiritual tattoo is deeply personal and can vary from person to person. If you're considering getting a spiritual tattoo, take some time to reflect on what it means to you and what you hope to gain from it. It's also important to choose a design and placement that you'll be happy with for years to come. David, at the age of 30, found himself in a different situation compared to his friends and family. While they had already settled down with stable jobs, houses, and cars, David felt a sense of self-doubt when reflecting on his own life and financial stability. Naturally, when faced with such extreme thoughts, one seeks solace in sharing their concerns with others. David confided in a friend who suggested a unique solution: getting a spiritual tattoo based on his birthday, birth time, and horoscope. Intrigued by this new option, David saw it as a potential opportunity to improve his financial situation. After searching for the perfect tattoo shop, he stumbled upon a small, mysterious-looking establishment. Despite his initial reservations, David decided to give it a try, believing that the tattooist meant no harm. The tattoo he chose required a piercing in his backbone area, with the owner assuring him that it would bring him popularity and financial stability. To support his claims, the owner shared testimonials from people who credited the tattoo for positive changes in their lives. David's decision to get a tattoo with a ritual attached to it was a big one, and he felt confident in his choice because he believed it would lead to a successful future. However, it's important to remember that tattoos with rituals should not be taken lightly, and seeking advice from trusted family and friends is crucial before making such a decision. Additionally, it's important to find a professional and skilled tattoo artist who can perform the ritual correctly to avoid any negative consequences. After getting the tattoo, David experienced physical discomfort and emotional distress, which he attributed to the ink not being suitable for him. However, after seeking medical attention, he learned that the ink was not the issue. It's important to listen to your body and seek professional help if you experience any negative side effects after getting a tattoo. In the end, David sought the help of a professional tattoo artist to correct the issues he was experiencing. This highlights the importance of finding a skilled and knowledgeable tattoo artist who can perform the ritual correctly and ensure that the tattoo is done in a way that is safe and beneficial for the individual. Seeking advice from trusted sources and doing thorough research before getting a tattoo with a ritual attached to it is crucial for a successful and positive experience. Thank you for watching. That's all for today's video. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you have any suggestions and experience related to the content, feel free to leave them in the comments below and join us on this journey.